The curtains tattered with age and... You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little cage-like trinkets. Your shadow...
I warned you! You're unleashing forces beyond your understanding!
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. Ow, shoot. Whose moronic idea was it to just run through the door? Don't you know that things like that hurt?
Are you alright? This looked pretty intense and painful, I must admit.
What is going on there? Are you really trying to break down the back door? I warn you, don't tempt the spirits, officer. Don't tempt the spirits or you'll damage the holy wards on the door.
It barely looks like you've done any damage to the door, however. It's still only an echo. No one is there. Only an echo. No one is there. Only an echo. No one is there. A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
What is implied here? That you're a drunk?
Baton, my maiden name. I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia, the police. I'm glad to see you here.
She is unfazed by your rudeness, probably chalking it up to local custom.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. The lieutenant is hatched.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the...
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful. Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it? Look at that lady. Take a gander, a well-kempt, yet tastefully short bob, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Now look at you, you misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor, poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too... Maybe you could ask her for some stock tips. That's a maybe. Or a job. Oh God, the lieutenant is here too. Do not dishonor the force.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Voila, you're doing it.
Why, yes, I am rich. How much money do you need? Hopefully not too much. I couldn't bring all of it with me.
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on?
Come now, nobody carries that much cash on their person. Particularly in a place like Martinez. I'd get... And even if I did, I still would not give you 10,000 real. I would rather buy something nice with it, like expensive hi-fi or a new hydrodynamic E40 sail. like high-fidelity anything, sir. Now, try again, but lower. Come now. Nobody can. And even if I did, It is. Fast and silent. Try again. I like high-fidelity anything, sir. Now, try... So would I, but whoa. There is no such denomination.
Ideas like this one are all part of his rare medical condition, man. Nothing to be worried about.
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper is cold.
Whoa, whoa. Did you see how easy that was? Ask her for more. Toot toot, train to Moneytown.
This may seem like odd behavior for a police officer, man, but it's a perfectly common side effect of his... unusual medical episode.
It's all right, Lieutenant. I really did bring as little cash with me as possible to avoid attention. So here you are. The last bit of filthy lucre I can share. So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
You're right, ma'am, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salaries? Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. I am glad you see it that way. To repeal the Act would mean repealing the coalition government. The one that leases you the right to police West Revachol. But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. I believe the official title is Senior Labour Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. What can I say? The Union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite...
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens, no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say. There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Every worker, a member of the board. Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy. Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazzo as every worker a member of the board. It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything, really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its... Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags, a disastrous situation.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least. There are leaflets every worker, a member. In its defense, another said, demand democracy. It's quite simple, you see. Just so you understand, this is but one of 20. That may well be. It's not. I'm not sure. And now.
Excuse me.
I've heard.
This checks out.
Mr. Clare told him to. How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Yes. Extremely. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator, Mr. Clare.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's... Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. Of course. Of course. How? Why, yes I am. The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why? Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long. What? I think I'll stick with the factory name, but thank you. Okay. How about Cordelati? Because it was the X something. The X what? Very absurd. Thank you for the suggestion. I will stick with the factory name for now, but thank you. My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Good. quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41.
He looks at you expectantly. Then it dawns on him.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement. Feelings will guide the way.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
Officer. You know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting in. Somehow.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something. The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbor. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Coach physical instrument. Wait, how did you know all those hammer throw techniques? How do you know how to hold a discus? Or the world youth record in discus? Something doesn't add up here. This mushy thing between your ears didn't know the name of the city you're in, but it comes loaded with trivia about the correct chin position of a shot-put ball. Could it be that? Shut up, namby-pamby. This train of thought ends abruptly. It's leg day. Straighten your rhombus muscle. It's shirts versus skins. Take your shirt off, Namby. Your skins.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and you know, not volunteer us to be her henchmen. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is... You could request a new one from the station, but that would literally take months.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a second, officer.
10-2, 10-5.
A scrawny old man sits in a dusty cubicle, smoking, with a large white rectangle
10-4, what's your status? Over. 10-18, 10-20, over. State your message, sir. Over. Ten-9, repeat message. Over. Ten-4, message received. This is a very serious situation.
Is it him? What does he want?
Says he lost his badge and needs to report.
He what? He lost his badge?
Who lost his badge?
Dick fucking Mullen. Who do you think?
It's Officer Dick Mullen from the bestseller Dick Mullen and the Lost Identity.
Dick Mullen is not your name. It's the name of a fictional detective who would not lose his badge. Defend yourself. Immediately. They're laughing at you.
Ten-4, I hear you, officer. I'm just going to make a note here that you are in pursuit of your misplaced badge. Over.
Fuck me. Mac, come here. You've got to hear this. Dick Mullen lost his badge.
What's going on?
Super Cop here lost his badge.
He lost his badge. He lost his goddamn fucking badge.
Ten-9, come again. I didn't get that. Over.
New heights even for Captain Sober.
Ask him. Ask him if he's lost his gun, too.
Sergeant Orson wants to know if you lost your gun, too.
Check your pockets. Check your... Holy fuck. You don't know where it is, do you? No. It's gone.
10-9, come in, officer. Did you get my question? We were wondering about your gun. Over.
Even before you can get the words out, everything gets scrambled in your brain.
He says he didn't lose his gun. Or his phone.
Ask him to describe it. His gun. Not his fun. Just the gun will do.
Satellite Officer McLean requests a description of...
Oh, request a description, huh? We'll give him one. Describe the plasma gun.
Ten-9, come again, please. Over. going to need to put you on speaker for a second. Over. The officer is describing his genitalia in exaggerated terms. Over.
Host in heaven. Did he lose his gun? Dear God, he lost his gun? Oh my. This isn't really a...
Mac can face a giant of Coco Nur by himself, but Disco here made him piss his pants.
Oh, I can't. Fuck. He lost his...
I'm not going to.
Ask him.
Sergeant Orson here is wondering if you are still in possession of your genitalia. Over. That's a negative. Not going to say that.
What's he saying? Share with the class.
He said he sodomized your mother.
The prick ate Mama's vanilla waffles at the captain's birthday party. Some nerve he's got.
Sure her vanilla waffles were the only thing he ate?
Shut up, Chester. This isn't funny. Tell him to apologize, right?
Sergeant Orson requests that you apologize for the claims that you made about his mother. Over. He says he's sorry and didn't mean nothing by it.
Okay.
Tell him to find his goddamn badge and gun. That's the only thing.
Satellite officer, I'm going to report that you are in pursuit of you.
In pursuit of his...
Officer, do you need further assistance? 10-4, I hear you. I don't have...
What does he want now?
He's asking for my...
Is he
I don't think he...
Don't give that asshole anything.
Alright, that's a negative on the additional funds, sir. Over. Anything else, sir? Roger.
18 kilometers to the south, in the 41st, the small room is filled with cigarette smoke, abuzz with light.
What is going on here? Did something happen?
What happened is my partner made contact. It's not good. He's lost his badge and his side.
Mac, the torso Torson, is finger-fucking his fist, laughing hoarsely and apparently...
Yeah, Mullen was fucked, alright.
Yeah, Mac's right. This was some gnarly...
Enough! None of this is funny. It's fucking sad. That's what it is.
We must help him.
Yeah? How do you fucking plan to do that, huh? Get him off the drink? Go jogging with him in the morning and get him on carrot juice? He's a
I just know we can't give up on him when he's at his weakest. He wouldn't.
Mac, man the door. You know what he told me? I don't want to get better. I want to get worse. This shit does not leave this room. Not a word of this to the captain. Or anyone else.
I guess I can hold off the report for a few days.
Good. Okay, everybody. Nothing but a prank call here. We all got our lives.
Far north, on the other side of the motorway, the officer quietly hunches with his hand in the motor carriage. old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings." Not a good track record of mental health in that family. What did he do? High above you, the king stands triumphantly oblivious to your memory trouble. The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph in her hands, in the background. Nothing. Her smile, just nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. Her hair is gray like lead. No response. Wherever this woman is, your word.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you! Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
Scab? A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Everybody loses. Gotta be bloody stupid or freaking evil to Scab. Or I guess scared, maybe. But scared of what? Of who? Personally, I'd rather beg than scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something. We've explained the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time. Good one, officer. Don't worry. We here have solidarity with the RCM. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money. Speaking of, what brings the RCM here, to the Wild North? Come to see the strife? Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
Should we? He's nice. I don't like nice. He didn't do it. It's the truth.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot. That's okay. I have no idea what I'm doing either. I don't even know what day it is. Don't tell me. It's a better day that way. Murder, huh? Probably not. I wouldn't even know where to start with that. Much better here at the harbor, for an honest union man like me. My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits. I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
Beneath the jolliness, he suddenly seems doubtful.
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in. Yeah, the 2.5-meter tall Semini supremacist is there. Walk right past him. Then press the button to unlock the door. Then go past him again, and you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Don't say anything. Size him up first.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology? It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger, because you are not a threat to me. What is this androgynous display of sexual maturity?
Merely standing up makes you sweat profusely. Your breathing is erratic. Your own heartbeat in your ears grows frantic, and you feel your...
Stop it! You are embarrassing yourself in front of this woman and your pedomorphic friend.
This display of weakness may appeal to older women with a stronger maternal instinct, but it is a liability here on...
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al-Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick. Yes, Al-Ghul. Al-Ghul is an ancient Ilmaran poison, a parasitic fungus that has colonized your race. It is a trick the desert pygmies played on you, for humiliating them and stripping them of their land. Correct, my small skull servant.
It's not good.
It's like a rat crawled into your stomach, got drunk and drowned.
No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4.
Show him the ham still got it.
Willingly calling yourself a ham sandwich, how far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, you dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Khoikos. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with... You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
It is my task to keep the degenerate drunks from entering the harbor. Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great war. Bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, the walls will be lined with bottles of Al-Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls. Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
How did this happen? Your little fist is in his giant hand, and he's squeezing it.
You must be out of your mind, degenerate drunk. Say it.
Your fist cracks in his hand like a ripe apple.
The words to the song have good. Now leave before you humiliate your homoerotic organization any further.
Go ahead. Don't...
Your race descent has only worse.
Go ahead. Don't be shy. Just ask for race secret.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on? I knew you would go straight for the vile cauldron. Everyone does. You need to first learn about
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, it just...
Yes, it would seem nonsensical.
Those are the Misiniz, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all like a receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats. You know them by the names of their nation-states. The Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners. The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreathing has led to a lactose intolerance of the Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteor, the other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food. As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental Type A is in retrograde. The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simonese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable the latter is perfected.
Nature was not capable of more.
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. To an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct muddy color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, sweaty, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic. The Khoikhoi, the countless micronationalities au grade, are all inexplicably obsessed with potard. The only thing they like more is Revacholians, halfway between Type A and racial Cauldron. Two mixed to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our Tips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me. Lesser races like the Mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a masked woman and a Siamese man. Only possible if the mother is masked and the father Siamese. The other way around, they fail to produce offspring. The Mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspension, listening to aggressive El Mariachi music to vent their impotent despair. Then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to? The Khoikhoi, as you know, are very servile. Especially when they meet the rich man. Racial scientists have toyed with the idea of this will never happen. The Siamese and the Khoikhoi may have similar interbreeding problems as the Mosquito. We will never know precisely.
There is a strange sadness in his tone, a less than heroic melancholy this time.
The heart that pumps the hemoglobin is mysterious, and so is its dark will. Enough of these personal matters. Have you—
He does not seem angry, nor does the woman look affected. She just twirls her hair. Perhaps they've been through this and established an accord.
You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it. You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vacholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease? Racists are generally not very good examples of their race. I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt. You exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia and sexual inaccountability. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look. It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages of Al-Ghul. From what remain of your features, I can see fleshy lips, baldness of the head, and this leads me to conclude you are not a police officer. You are a common criminal, an offspring of murderers and sailors from Sur la Clé. Your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Rivasholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision to reproduce while under the influence of Al-Ghul. That is the only reason you are here. Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this.
There must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however.
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront polycultural capital. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is like jam. Individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? You have picked them up from rock and roll songs? Of course it does. You are a degenerate individualist and a rock and roll rebel. A pawn of international finance. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminese race.
Measurehead stoically looks to the distance, in silence.
I think this racist is better than the last, but the next racist will be the really good one. There always is.
Race is reality. I am not like them. Correct. There is nothing funky I cannot possibly imagine.
Welcome to Rivachol.
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you.
The lieutenant's impassive mask has been replaced with intensity. He speaks not as a cop, but as a citizen. He is Vacholier, a Revacholian.
It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
Oh, come on, man. I just said, welcome to Revachol.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
Silence. The air between them. Because your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Whatever you say, officers. Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock... Apples. Yeah.
He's given you the runaround. Let's be honest.
It's about biological determinism. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with a coalition in charge, you know. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that. Open your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? An unfortunate downturn, maybe? Huh? When members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority, they stop competing for resources. This concerns you, policemen, so you better be vigilant. The damn kips are showing up good lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruder species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Good. If we, the evening people, pull together, we can form a bulwark against these troubled times. Root out the forces that seek to undermine the well...
Lieutenant Kitsaragi's stern expression remains unchanged. But you sense he can't be happy. Oh no, not too happy.
When you said before that you were down with racism, was it meant in earnest? Or were you just trying to win his...
Well, now you've done it. Let's see if you can talk your way out of this one.
So you don't find his views, say, unbefitting of a police officer?
Okay. Feels like this is going to be a discussion now.
There are tens of thousands of people who grew up in Martinez and somehow managed to avoid becoming racists, who yell, "Come here, saffron picker," at passers-by. Our position in Revachol is already precarious. Many people think we are vigilantes as it is. I can't have them thinking we are racist vigilantes to boot. That's good to hear. I don't want there to be any unnecessary friction in our relationship during this important case. Let me say just one more thing. As you've seen, these sorts of attitudes are quite common in Martinez, so I expect this to happen again and again. I've had this conversation enough times in my life. From now on, I'm going to stay out of it. How you choose to respond is your business. Now, let's get back to the task at hand.
Does Kuno care? Kuno...
The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lips are fish-like and his tongue like a ball gag in his mouth. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in even through your clenched nostrils.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is just...
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
Active decay.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, more instant and more familiar than anything you'd expected. More fever than odor. It fills your mind. You feel a great force ringing from your stomach. Your body curls and pushes it out, burst by burst. Until a pool of vomit lies under your feet and your throat stings from the stomach acid.
It's okay. Happens to everyone. Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head. There's the fruit nearby. Maybe they have some in their apothecary. If they don't, there's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags. If she works here, she might have something for the...
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the wipe check. Modifiers make checks easier and allow you to retry them.
Yes? What do you want to know? You mean like a brief? 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute. A security guard or worker of some sort, hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from us. They didn't identify themselves in any way. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in... Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. Good.
A tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing. The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance over the container yard. The look in his eyes is a mix of the engineer-like interest and the wonder of a 6-year-old seeing a horse for the first time.
I think there's a certain beauty in this giant pair.
He turns back to the sad piece of fabric flapping in the wind. Tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the rail. The tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing. No. Tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing. Nope, no. That's still too high. What were you thinking? You're not a gymnast. You're a window stands broken in its frame. Cold, the shards face outward. Whatever broke this window, a fine web of more likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments. It is to the single. Congratulations. You smashed the window with your own shoe. Now you only have one. The window agrees. Its cracked smile. Kim also tries not to look at the pile of taped viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner. But it's all just too morbid to ignore. The man is finding it hard not to trip on the tape, and not to send any of the bottles rolling across the floor, where unidentifiable sludge makes it hard for him to breathe. Smells of vomit in here.
And by that you mean crimes against humanity? I have no idea what that means.
Hey. Psst. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff. Funky style. Very funky. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it? Oh yeah. Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
Yes?
window stands. The morning light. The morning light. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. The chain cutters slip out of your hands as you attempt to twist the faucet into place. Well, you know one thing for sure. You've probably never been a plumber. The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. The morning light hurts. There they both are, two identical shoes, both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin. Good, they're balanced, comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now. You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast, oceanic soul. Of course, at this point, precise measurements of your soul can only be performed from the outside. It needs to be through a PA system, by other people. Who is mistakenly identified as a cop for his prominent jawline? Yes, sounds likely. You should probably go on stage and pose for a moment when you're done with this thought. See if it works. You have not yet stumbled on the right lamentation, but it's out there. It'll come to you. You will wreak havoc with it. Don't worry. No. Don't sing the happy song. It's stupid. Sing the sad song. It's profound. You have to find something tragic to sing first, though.
Can I help you? Absolutely out of the question.
You wait and see, cafeteria manager. Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit.
What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always...
He hates the union, but grudgingly recognizes its power over him. So he's directing his frustration at you instead. Retaliate.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later. You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimpled lock. You immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery. The door does not budge. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? Eccentric. But okay, I suppose we could...
He's not bothered by your eccentricity. He seems genuinely intrigued himself.
If you say so, Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those. Oh yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been... Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing. He looks at the dust on his finger and wipes it off.
Yes?
On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine. The man does not mind.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom.
There is only one way to awake this bone idol from his slumber. Roar like a hurricane. Rip the buildings from the earth.
Why the yelling, man? Really? You woke me up for that?
Officer, even after a rude awakening, this dock worker respects the police.
Thank God, no.
The worker stares at you, his eyes dry.
I don't know what you're talking about, kind sir. But when I'm out, then I'm really out.
A little me time in the abyssal pelagic zone. You can never return to it now. Only detective work remains. Wakefulness and detection.
Indeed. Help yourself to some. Wait. No. Oh, it's empty. Sorry about... We are the workers. The union. Okay. I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge of the union. He's smart. Knows how to negotiate. They got it. Majoret's got it. He's guarding the gate. Or just getting some sleep. Or was. Yeah, what about it? You know, people die here every day. If someone has decided to die on top of a tree, then how is it my concern? I can tell you that. You heard what I said?
The lieutenant gives you a little nod. So union people think he was a killer, he thinks. Even sleepy hair. This doesn't help a lot, but it's something. Good work, detective.
That's the name of my...
He doesn't sound too...
How's it going? Haven't you noticed what's going on outside? Good. For one, I can thank God no.
The worker stares.
I don't know what...
A little me time in the abyssal pelagic zone. You can never return to it now. Only...
Thank God no.
The worker...
A
little me time. He doesn't sound...
Logistics? No. We are... Okay. I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge of the union. He's smart. Knows how to negotiate.
The dock worker doesn't answer. His head is already back down on the table.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chisel. But dear, you're not for me. I'm too old and too married.
In another time and place, she might have flirted back.
You must forgive me. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your...
If she could, this woman would feed and clothe you and every other sad, lost person on this earth. Your deportment remains dignified as you shed a single...
Sweetie, I only have a few cents on me, but
Wonderful. He has a pin.
The pin is round and slightly tarnished. 3 sailboats in bas-relief with the sun hovering over the water behind them. A chipped green banner at the bottom reads,
Oh, it's not an ancient family heirloom or anything, but I suppose it would be nice to get it back. Oh, I'm perfectly all right. I'm more worried about you. What was that? What do you mean? He's just on edge because of the lynching. Don't judge him too hard. Whatever do you mean? Ah, yes. Probably Roll With Me by the Fletchers. People often quote the Fletch. I hope you were able to pawn that old trinket. Of course, dear. Of course.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. Attaboy. It's coming back to him. You had your mesolimbic reward pathway worried there, not thinking about drinking all that time. It was like you weren't... Forget about the bar. Or don't forget about it. You should totally try to get a drink there too. But first, you should lick that stain calmly. The lieutenant looks out of the window, then to you, licking the...
What are you doing? We should move.
You could definitely go for some more.
one, sir? Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers. I think that's why people read them. I don't know about that, but I imagine life is... Why would they do that, sir? That's so cool. Maybe they'll make you a book cover picture and everything. Standing over a dead... My name is Annette, sir. Feel free to step in and browse our wares. Oh, I think that's why people read them. I do my studies at home at the moment. School? Well, mine is a big yellow building on Boogie Street, and the people there run it. They say it's a charity. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed. Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid of...
Behind her, the window has been boarded.
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go... I wouldn't really say it like that, but I guess so.
We can go into the bookstore and ask about the case.
Yes. Please do also look at our wares inside. The postcards and board games are there, sir.
It does not manifest itself in any way. No such thing.
Anything else you wanted to talk about, sir?
It does not.
Anything else? Maybe I can tell you about some of our books instead.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint. From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit. Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen, Salam Rocky Bayi, badass on-the-edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera. Lights. With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized... This coin operates. Your money disappears. The curtains on the lenses, it looks, its leaves ripped from it by the... This coin-operated viewer, a thick under the graffito, a sea of... The church looks old and withered. The metal feels cold. sturdy man. This could be the door rattles. The door rattles.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more strangers inside. Doesn't matter who are. The police. Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No. I'll go check.
Backyard door. With the smoker. You already with it.
Madame, I assure you,
There is no reply.
Good. We had enough problems with bums and drunks and thieves loitering in the hallway. You have no business.
You're well versed in the kind of threatening legalese that implies criminal liability, but in fact has no meaning whatsoever.
I know my rights, and don't you, Mom?
Miss, would it help if we offer to show you our badges?
Hold your horses. I don't care about your stinking badge. Give me a moment. The cold never does any good for my bronchitis. I'm fine. Fine.
You're still worried.
Now, what do you want from me, policeman? Ask away, policeman. People come and go. I don't keep... The hell am I supposed to? Some lunatic lost his mind. All kinds of morons pass through these halls.
With how small these rooms are, wouldn't you want to break the wall down? She mumbles some kind of a response.
Yes, yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking.
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
He's actually not wanted for murder. We just want to talk with...
Talk? He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the...
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he...
I'm no one. If you can call it living. I have a little room. It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't...
Gençler, kurcuklanacak çok şey var. Kurcukçu bir sonraki bölümde sizlerle devam etmek istiyor. Kendinize iyi bakın. ...2 saat 41 dakikalık video gameplay'ime hoş geldiniz. Bu bir canlı yayın dostum. Eğer kayıtlı yayın görüyorsanız editlenmiş demektir. Kesilip sansürlenmiş demektir. İçinden geçilmiş demektir. Kendinize iyi bakınız. Burada bitiriyoruz şimdilik.